So do you guys remember when Genki at CES had this whole Nintendo Switch 2 mock-up? They were basically flaunting these kind of early accessories, and they had some like early kind of insider kind of information or whatever. That whole situation that happened before Nintendo revealed the Nintendo Switch 2 for the very first time. Well, now Nintendo is suing them, and it's a pretty crazy situation. So we're going to be talking about that here in this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe for more Nintendo news, gameplays, walkthroughs, guides, you name it, we got it. Switch 2 is coming around the corner. It's going to be a lot of content for that as well, so keep it locked for more. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Catch you up really quick with an old IGN article. I'm not going to be reading it. I'm just going to kind of skim through it. The whole CES thing, you can see kind of like what they're saying. We saw Genki CES Nintendo Switch 2 mock-up. Here's what they had to say. Again, there's this whole article. You can kind of see what it is. You can see the mock-ups on screen here. They were pretty accurate with their mock-ups. Obviously, we talked about some of the stuff back then. It was interesting to say the very least. They had apparently the new C button that was present on their mock-up. The representative said they didn't have any information on a new C button present on their. Yeah, so they had the C button. They had the freaking C button on their mock-up and everything, but they didn't have any information regarding that. So kind of crazy. Like, see, you got the brand new button there. It was pretty accurate, to say the very least. It has what seems to be that kind of 8-inch screen or whatever. So yeah, it was nuts. But now what's happening? Well, let's go over to the Nintendo Life, check out their article. Genki is getting sued for violation of Nintendo's rights. They are the company that leaked the Switch 2. It was obvious this was going to happen. So these are documents that were spotted by Oatmeal Dome over on social medias and whatever. Nintendo claims that Genki demoed and promoted unauthorized purported mock-ups and renderings of the Nintendo Switch 2 and its accessories at CES, infringing its trademarks. Genki CEO Edward Tsai, if that's how you pronounce his name, is also charged with showing 3D printed mock-ups and claiming that Genki had access to an authentic Switch 2 on which Genki based its mock-ups, renderings, 3D printed mock-ups, and all that. Nintendo adds that Genki purportedly confirmed specific, highly confidential designs and functionality of the not yet announced Nintendo Switch 2. It was a pretty massive leak. They're going down here to say that these actions, Nintendo claims that have been designed to capitalize and appropriate the public's anticipation for the release of Nintendo's next generation console, and Nintendo feels that Genki has used Nintendo's trademarks and trade dress in connection with the marketing of its business and its unauthorized third-party accessories in violation of Nintendo's rights in those marks. Nintendo also claims that Genki's claim that it had access to a real Switch 2 is false, something that Genki themselves have since confirmed, basically. Genki's claims of compatibility would be impossible to guarantee without unauthorized illegal access to the Nintendo Switch 2. Thus, Genki has misled and is misleading the public as to its ability to guarantee the compatibility of its products with the Nintendo Switch 2, adds Nintendo. Nintendo also takes issue with Genki's social media and web activities, which seemed to suggest that it had infiltrated Nintendo's HQ. It would later post a message on its site with a comment, "Can you keep a secret? We can't." The Japanese giant was also less than pleased, that being Nintendo, less than pleased with Genki launching its own direct broadcast 2 hours after Nintendo officially announced the console, claiming that the company used a thumbnail image that could mislead fans into thinking it was an official Nintendo broadcast, end quote. And of course, you can see the actual filings, images up on screen here. It's kind of wild, man. I mean, what do you expect would have happened, right? It was kind of obvious when they leaked it, if it was to be legit, that it was gonna come back and bite them. It's pretty crazy because we had pretty close renderings of the Switch 2. I mean, it was pretty one for one. They had 3D models and stuff. It was absolutely insane, to say the very least. And I mean, man, it's kind of crazy that like a company would be so dumb to think that like, hey, this is a great idea. Let's like, you know, go and do all of these things. And it's actually nuts. It didn't kind of happen sooner. I guess maybe Nintendo, first of all, Nintendo really wanted to build a case, I guess, against them. And part of it's probably like, you know, they wanted to actually wait till this thing was revealed, because if they had said anything prior to, then they're basically confirming that Genki was, their mock-ups were, you know, at least somewhat legit. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to keep you guys up to date on this news. In terms of, I know this could be, people are going to be wondering, you know, specifically about the thumbnail thing that Nintendo noted, like, oh, the thumbnail was like misleading to make it think. Yeah, but you got to keep in mind there's a lot of factors in this, and it was the intent behind it, right? So it's yeah, I mean, you know, if you have Nintendo-esque style thumbnails, I mean, I don't think Nintendo's going after you. You know, I think it's the fact that like you know, Genki's intent was to like completely mislead people, and be as close to Nintendo, like a fake Nintendo Direct kind of thing as possible, just to get clicks and whatnot. So really weird that Genki kind of went down this route. But anyways, you know, you mess around and I guess you're gonna find out. So, well, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of content, like I said, stick around for more. We do a variety of Nintendo-based content. I've been playing through some old Nintendo games that I've never got to play through, as we lead up to the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. If you missed those videos, check them out. I played so far through Super Metroid, so it's just kind of like a compilation, or kind of like the ending of it, reacting to the, you know, beating it. And I just uploaded one to Super Mario, or Mario Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance, which is like one of the only Mario Karts I hadn't beat. But anyways, keep it locked for more. Until the next one, game on. I'll see you guys later.